On today's episode of the Warne's Way podcast, it's a very special episode because it's episode number 23, and I'm joined by somebody who's even more worthy than a sir. He's in fact a lord, but more importantly, he was one of Dad's best mates. They had a great relationship together. So welcome to the show, Lord Ian Beefy Botham. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacko. No, lovely. Nice introduction, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually prefer Beefy.
You prefer Beefy? Don't like the title of Lord?
No, I treat that with great respect, but everyone that's around me, even my grandchildren and friends and people I played with and people I've met, everyone just calls me Beefy.
Beefy,
and
okay.
I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
And I'm not beefy either now.
No, you're like, I feel it. You're very lean. I feel it, not beefy. But no, thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, it's not easy sort of always remembering stories and talking about Dad, but with what this podcast is, it's been quite a nice feeling, especially for me, hearing some stories about Dad, which I've never heard before, but all of them have got the same things in common. They've all got how much he wanted to help people, how much smokes he had, or how many people he was making laugh, his love for golf, poker, all of these things. But can you remember the very, very, very first time you met him?
Yep. We really met him and was in, who would have been, you weren't born. Your sister was, I think, number one.
Yep, Brooke.
Brooke, yeah. And she was, I sat on the end of the bed with Warne, and your mum was there heavily pregnant.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I really got to know him.
Yeah.
And quite bizarre, really, but but
so around 1998,
sort of
okay.
around there. We really got to know each other. Obviously, I'd known him a bit from the cricket and commentating, etc. And we did an advert for Nike together.
Ah.
And the mystery delivery.
Yes.
And he bowls it, I hit it, and it goes through a bus window, it goes through a kitchen, it goes over a clothesline.
Yeah.
And that was when we really sort of realised we enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah.
And I'm actually quite honoured that you've given me, this is show 23, and everyone that knew anything about, well, you don't really have to know, everyone knows 23 was his number.
Yeah.
And so I'm very pleased with that. I'm very honoured.
No, the honour's mine, Beefy, because I know especially when you come to Australia, it's work, 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 but you also do find time for things you love.
Yeah.
And no, it really means a lot you coming on, so thank you, Beefy.
Yeah.
But the first love you guys used to have with Dad was golf, because my earliest memories with you was going to the Dunhill, and you always had the socks that were always very high up and very colourful and stood out from the rest. That's my earliest memories of you.
Yeah. I've always been, when it comes to dress and dyeing my hair and everything when I was playing, long, a big mullet.
Yeah.
But that was sort of my little rebellious side of me.
Yeah.
Which I think your father enjoyed. But no, we played the Dunhill, and I don't know if you know the full story, but when he actually made the cut, which was sadly his last.
In 2021.
Yeah, his last appearance. And he was so excited he made the cut because he'd missed the cut by 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots over the years. And at last, he comes in at 19th with Ryan Fox as his pro. And I think your dad got a little bit excited, and we have the big gala dinner, which you've seen and been to at the Dunhill in the big marquee. And he arrived at about 7 o'clock, and we had a young lad from the university who was looking after us for drinks on our table. Yeah. And when he walked in, and he said, "Mate, here's £50. He said, "I want a vodka Red Bull every 8 minutes." So I looked at him, I said, what's the 8? He said, my diary, the 8 is his number. So anyway, true enough.
Next to 23 on the roulette table.
Yeah. So, but no, he definitely indulged that night. He was very happy. Yeah. But the Red Bull started to creep up on him. Yeah. And most people, when they're making their first cut or made the cut, you sort of disappear when the bands come on.
Get a good night's sleep, get fresh.
Yeah, didn't happen. So what happened was I left him at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and he was still enjoying life, flying. Yeah. And I think, I don't know what time it was. I think it was about 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning. The security boy said, "You better go to bed," because everyone's gone. Yeah. The place is shut down. Yeah. Anyway, the next morning he gets up, they get him up, and he goes down, and Fox is waiting on the first tee.
Yeah.
And he went to put the ball on the tee and fell over. It's a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah.
But he played the next 6 holes, and I think he was 2 under par gross.
Wow.
Yeah.
Best he's ever played.
Yeah, absolutely. And Foxy then started to watch him and thought, hang on a minute, he's starting to sober up a bit here.
Yeah.
So he sent his caddy
To get another drink.
2.
Really?
Very large ones. And he had those. And they played great golf. They shot, I think, between them, 59.
Yeah.
With him with his shots, Warne, and Foxy played well off the stick.
Yeah.
And end of the day, we're sat there, and he's very happy about that. He made it, and they actually were joint first with that score.
Yeah.
And they missed out on the countback.
Yeah.
But he said to me, who sat down there before he got jumped on the plane, and he said to me, Beefy, what actually happened today? And I just looked at myself, unbelievable. But he was he loved his golf. He was actually a bit of a bandit, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think most people agreed on that.
Yeah.
But always good fun. And I can remember a lot of things that you wouldn't share with anyone, because he would turn in his grave if I told all the truth. But no, the truth of the matter is, for me, he never got the accolade that he deserved when he was playing. And I felt that when they decided to name the stand, the Shane Warne stand, I thought, why does Shane have to die before you do that?
Yeah, and it's very true, because it's one thing that, and not necessarily anymore, but especially during the year 2022, me and Brooke used to sometimes get frustrated because every single day or month there was always some new honour. So whether it was the Shane Warne stand at the MCG or the commentary box at Lord's, all of the ovals and stand that got all named all around the world, in India, England, here in Australia, at his old school. It just used to, me and Brooke were like, why did it take him having to pass away for these to happen?
Exactly.
And obviously, we all wish he was still here, and I wish he got to see them, because one thing that makes me really happy is going to the MCG during AFL or cricket or even concerts and seeing the Shane Warne stand filled. But yeah, it is sad that he never got to see it, and it's sad that it takes people to pass away for people to honour them.
Well, that's exactly the way I thought, and I said it. I said it publicly, that I think that this is a few years too late.
Yeah.
He should have been allowed to enjoy that moment and see it happen, unveil it.
Yeah. And you would have seen his whole career as well, from the early 90s up until he retired, and then worked with him for all these different companies and commentary and golf, everything. And he was always somebody that was on the other side of the media, always negative articles or magazines and photos. But then all of a sudden after he's passed, there's so much positive about him. And he's so lucky that he had such thick skin, because he was able to endure it. But it's just strange how they sometimes do these 180s after they've passed.
I don't know why. It's a bit of an omen. When they put a stand in my name down at Taunton many years ago, when I was still playing, I thought, bloody hell, they must know something that I don't know. I'm going to pop my socks.
Yeah.
And, no, he and also the things he did with the kids, the stuff like this that he did, and he didn't want any publicity.
Yeah.
And he used to slide off. I'm sure he did with the local schools here, but he certainly did down in Hampshire and what have you. Yeah. And he would just turn up.
Yep.
And no press, please, no press. And he'd go and spend an hour or two, whatever, with the kids.
And that was Dad's amazing ability, is just how much he wanted to help people. And it's been so nice the last few years, and especially since starting this podcast, and the legacy that all the stories that are coming out about Dad, it's always how much he wanted to help people, how much he's impacted their lives, how much time he gave up, how much energy, advice. It was always Dad giving back. And it wasn't for anything. He just did it because he believed that's what he wanted to do, and he just loved helping people.
Yeah. I remember my Kath, my wife, as you know very well, and she, we were driving into Birmingham, and we used to stay at the Hotel de Van there, which used to be an eye hospital, and they converted it beautifully. But round the back, you had to go round the back to come up and do 3 sides of a square to get to the front door, and it pulled up, and it was absolutely hosing down, and Warne came running out, said to Kath, give me the bags. gave her a hug and a kiss, and suddenly she went up in the world ratings with that bar. That's the kind of thing he was doing, and he did it. He was Scarlet Pimpernel, a good way of describing him.
Yeah.
He was brilliant, and again, no one really knew that or heard about it until he passed, and it's again, but also he had a great, wicked sense of humour. He was certainly larger than life, and I actually, as you just mentioned earlier to me before we came on air, that when I was asked to pick the best side from 2000, combined English and the Australian that played in the Ashes series, and I thought, well, hang on, this is my chance to make a point. And we did all the sides. It came up to number 8 or 9, whatever it was, 8 I think, might be 9. But I said my captain for my team is Shane Warne. And they said, "Oh right, okay." Ricky Ponting and Punter, I think he deserved to be put in that bracket because I think he possibly was the best captain that was never captain. Yeah, and that was wrong as well. And when you look what he did at Hampshire as captain, he changed the whole mindset, the competitiveness. I just felt that. He would have deserved that in my team. If I was the chairman of selectors, he'd have got it.
And he would have loved seeing the C next to his name as well. But two things on that. The first thing is at every team he played for, like Hampshire, Rajasthan, even growing up at all of his schools, the only one I think was the Stars, but at every team that he captained, they actually won their championship or they won their trophy because he loved leading by example. He loved taking all of the accountability and putting his hand up when they've made a mistake. And he loved that extra layer of responsibility because he always thrived under pressure. And the second thing was, I'm pretty sure, and you might know this as well, but I'm pretty sure Dad is the only Australian cricketer that won all of the players' votes and the coaches' votes, but then wasn't actually made captain. So it's strange because seeing posts like that and seeing your 11 and other people's 11, they always make Dad captain.
Yeah, quite rightly. I mean, he had imagination. He had all the qualities. But I'm not saying that the other guys like Ricky Ponting, who was, I think, a very good captain, tremendous captain. You've got people like Stephen Fleming, who I thought did a great job with New Zealand. And you look round, Graham Smith with South Africa. I think Warne would have had that same inspirational effect. But, he I think the downside for him was the fact that he was continuously Women's Weekly was I think one of the
New Idea Women's Weekly or the magazines
just nailed him after time. And at the end of the day, you just got to ignore it and let it go away because if someone was that bad, they'd be terminated. But I mean, it was so wrong. Yeah, and then suddenly the point you make quite rightly. As soon as he's passed, oh, look, here's the great Shane Warne, the great this, great. And I'm thinking, that's not what you were saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You were hurting the family.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very strange because I haven't really been reflecting a lot about it, but I'm starting to reflect a lot about like the last 1 or 2 months that I actually spent with him. And one of the ideas he had, because as you know, he loved ideas. He loved trying to make ideas come to life and whatever it was, it doesn't matter. He loved ideas. But one of the ideas he actually wanted to create an app. And he wanted that app to be about where he said it was always so sad that the people that pass away never get to hear the nice things people say about them because they're gone. So he wanted to create an app where before somebody passes, you can actually say the things you want to say about them. And it can either be anonymously, it can be through a voice message, it can be video and voice. But he just wanted to create some sort of platform that before people pass, they get to hear all the nice things about them.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I mean, did he get very far down the line with it?
Well, I know one of his friends, JT, who you might have played golf with, actually made the game Words with Friends. And so he was talking to him about making an app, but it never came to life. But it's weird that some of the conversations I remember having with Dad, that it's just like, it's just really sad.
No, it would have been interesting to have seen his side looking in rather than everyone else looking at him. It just makes sense.
Yeah. And he was also somebody, though, that, and I remember him telling me this all the time, never try and be somebody you're not. So he was always himself, and if that sometimes looked bad or it looked good, he knows he was always himself and he was never acting. So yes, all the articles and funny photos you'd see in magazines or online, he's still being himself. And to be honest, it was actually probably just a very big invasion of his privacy. Like, I'd never seen somebody get followed the amount he did his entire life, especially in Australia.
Well, there's a thing, it's called jealousy. And there was heaps of that flying around then. And also to the extent, well, don't let the truth ruin a good story. And that was from the way I saw it, from being on the outside initially and looking in. But as you say quite rightly, we became pretty close, and we had a lot of fun together. Yeah. And I remember we went to there's some weird drink that your dad used to like.
Midori lemonade.
Yeah, Midori. Yeah. We were both going to Brunei, and we'd been invited over there by the royal family, Prince Hakeem, and we got there, and I got this phone call, and I was in Singapore waiting to connect to Brunei. Yeah, and beefy, can you get some of that Midori, or whatever it's called? Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. And I said, what is it? I didn't have a clue. Yeah. I mean, no normal person would drink that. Yeah. So he told me, and I got a couple of bottles and brought it through. And he said, try one. And I nearly threw up. I have to be honest. It certainly wasn't my palate.
Yeah, because you're a wine man, aren't you?
Wine, a bit of cider, a good gin, a good whiskey. Yeah, most things, really.
Yeah, anything. Because people used to think Dad used to drink a lot of beer. And obviously when he was celebrating with the team, that's obviously the sponsors and what they're all drinking at the time. But he was actually just a little bit different. He preferred, the Midori lemonades or the vodka Red Bulls, the gin, sometimes the ciders. But he wasn't necessarily a big beer drinker.
He wasn't a big drinker, full stop.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He was very spasmodic. Yeah. If we had a celebration or something to celebrate, he'd have a few drinks with the boys. Yeah. But no, many a time I've seen him tip into the flower pot and continue. And I sort of admired him a bit for that, because he knew, we all enjoy a drink, and sometimes, you have too many. And that's happened to, I think, just about every person on the planet that can access an alcoholic drink. But he let the people think that he was a big drinker, let him do it. He wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't, but he's far from it.
Yeah, and it's very interesting the perception Dad had, or the public had of Dad his entire life. And I've always sort of suggested to people when they go, what's the best thing to watch about your dad? Or, I knew about your dad's cricketing career, but I want to know about his personal life. What should I watch? And I always go, look, it might sound sad, but actually just watch the State Memorial, because you've got his closest friends and family from all different walks of life, all talking about him, but they've all got the exact same things in common: helping people, wanting to have a laugh. Yeah. And there isn't really much about what actually the magazines and the online articles and newspapers were actually saying about him. People were like, wow, I didn't realize how much charity work he did or how many people he wanted to help.
Because they didn't want to know. They were quite happy watching. Warne became an instant target. Yeah. And but then suddenly, when that's removed, and you've seen, one of the greatest cricketers of all time, never to score 100, but
and he was very upset about that. But he managed to do two things on that. And sorry to cut you off, but he turned that 99 Not Out into a beer business. So he started making and selling beers called 99 Not Out. And the second thing is, I'm pretty sure still to this day, he has the most test runs without making a century. So even though he was sad he didn't, get that 100, he has a record from it.
But the other record, the other thing about that decision was, we think it was a no ball.
Yes, and if you go back and watch the footage,
no ball. So I'd love to have had it. I did have a crack at him about that, actually. Yeah. I did actually say to him, I said, mate, you've been robbed. Yeah. He said, what do you mean? What do you mean?
And he was always somebody, though, that could take a joke. He showed great humility. He could take a joke. He didn't mind people taking the mickey out of him. But one thing that used to frustrate him, especially when he was younger, was everybody just loved talking about his weight. He could never understand why. Oh yeah, all they cared about was his weight. But I remember when he was over in England, he used to get from the Barmy Army, you ate all the pies, who ate all the pies. But then at this most recent Boxing Day, sitting in Bay 13, which is now the Shane Warne stand, with the Barmy Army, to see them sing a song and honour Dad 2 days in a row, walking in a Warnie wonderland, and it's amazing to see what our rivals, Australia, England, Ashes, and Dad was their biggest rival, but they actually, created and sang a song for Dad, which I thought was magic.
Yeah. No, the Barmy Army, they were tagged. They were tagged as being louts and what have you, etc., etc. The truth of the matter is that they actually put a hell of a lot of money into wherever they go, into that whatever part of the world.
Yep.
They some of those guys don't take a holiday all year and save it for the cricket tours. And not just the Ashes, though. They go to New Zealand, they'll go to India, Sri Lanka. And they do a lot. And also, they do a lot for charity.
Yep.
A lot of the stuff they do is for charity. It's now a thriving business as a agency, travel agency.
Yeah.
But they are good, and they're good for the game. They don't cause any trouble. They want to go and have fun. They go to have fun. Some of them have to be carried out either from the sun or the alcohol by their mates. But that was the one that always worried me. You go past them, and you'd see them sat in the grandstand, and they got the shirt off, and it's 40 degrees. And they think, I'm in the shade. It doesn't work that way.
And I was with them for the 2 days, and I have to say it was probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever been a part of for any sporting event. They were loud, passionate, patriotic, supportive, but in a really nice and cheeky way. And I think Australia could maybe take a leaf out of their book, and maybe we have an Australian army or the Warne's army or whatever it is, the Warnies, whatever it is. I think to see what they did this Boxing Day test and did it all the other tests as well, still honouring the McGrath Foundation and giving back to so much of the community. And there's so many of them travelling with the Barmy Army that, like you're right, they are actually helping a lot of the economy and the small businesses and the bars, the restaurants. They're actually very good people, and they're nice people.
You pray that they'll come and take over my pub. Because it's going to be the best year. But most of them move to the Caribbean after that, on their own little island. But they are good. They were run down and abused by, shall we say, the more stuffy people in this planet. And now they've had to actually eat their words and apologise. If you ever do apologise. But mentally and physically, they are good. They were strong. And they have a sense of humour. They go and write these songs. They work it, and then they rehearse it. And I think, you guys are crazy. I love it. I love it.
I also loved Finchy as well, who's their trumpeter, and how well he's able to, coordinate the crowd and get them involved and play his sounds. Like the first time I heard it, because I'd seen videos and everything, but the first time I heard it, I've gone, wow, there's one person playing a trumpet making all that noise in a bay of 40,000 people. But when he starts playing the trumpet, everybody's listening, everybody's singing, and it is so cool to see.
It is unbelievable. And but no, that's the only sad thing about this last Ashes series. That England were, I don't know what planet they were on, but I thought it was such a letdown for a lot of those people. It costs them money. They save it all year to go and then they get England performing like that. It was. I was actually flabbergasted at the way the arrogance. It was arrogance to come out and think we're going to do this. We don't need a practice match. We don't need this. We don't that. I just thought. I thought one of the greats, like your dad, Mitchell Stark, Pat Cummins, all these guys. They wouldn't have dreamt of going in cold like that into a series. It just wouldn't happen. But we thought we could. And England should have won the first test. They were 100 for 1 in their third inning, or the third innings of the match. And they capitulated to 200, I think, with 9 wickets going down for 90. And that, to me, that epitomised the whole thing. All the talk, but eventually you've got to walk the walk.
And seeing how they've gone, obviously hindsight's great, but if you were a player and you were told there's no warm-up games or, the preparation they've done, what would your mindset have been?
Well, one of the things, everyone prepares differently. We played non-stop cricket. So if we were playing for England home, you start on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. In those days, you used to have Sunday off and play Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I'll be travelling down from the last day of the test. I'll be turning back to Taunton or Worcester or Durham, wherever I was going. And you get there and you're playing a one day or the next day. And then you have a championship match 2 days later. So you're not, this guys out there bowled in the middle, virtually nothing. And they weren't fit, match fit. They can be gym fit, but gym fit doesn't work. And that's what proves, when you go out there, if you're mentally strong enough and you don't need the body of, Adonis standing there in front of you, you need the player and the man who's got the stamina and who can keep going. And, I used to look at Warnie's hands at times, and I used to think
sausage fingers.
Yeah, I know, just unbelievable.
Yeah,
and that's the pounding it took. He bowled thousands upon thousands of deliveries.
Yeah,
but I don't think I ever heard him moan or whinge.
Yeah,
and to come back and bounce back as he did after that first test against India, where he got zilch for the lots.
Yeah,
that could have actually finished a lot of players.
Definitely.
But he stood his ground. And I think he, for me, epitomised the attitude. And I'd like to think we had the same attitude, and the players that are successful have the same attitude.
And that is the perfect word, because that's what I was just about to say. One thing Dad always used to drill into me, he always used to say, effort is free, always. But the second thing is, if you're going into anything, sport, business, whatever it is, it's all about your attitude. And he used to talk about that all the time in sport, because he would always be able to recognise golfers, footy players, cricketers, their attitude straight away. And it's how quickly their attitude changes when things are going well or when things are going bad. And it's when things are going bad, it's your attitude of how, I'm just going to put the boots up and not play, or I'm going to quit. But it's the attitude of, hang on, it's not over till it's over. And that's why he always never, ever looked at a game as it was already lost until he got the stumps. Even if they needed, 3 wickets off the last 2 overs, Dad would say, give me the ball, I'm going to get all 3 wickets. Like, that was just his mindset, and that was his attitude.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. You want to be the leader of the pack, which he was without doubt, because he was turned to him and Glenn McGrath. If you've got a captain, you've got those two. Yeah. And you can have one bowling at one end pace, Glenn McGrath, and you've got Warne at the other end, mesmerising him with the stuff out the back of the hand. Yeah. So it was a perfect combination. And I think if any sides, you've still got, you can have the players, and you've got the skills, but you've got to have the mentality, and you've got to have that, bug of the world. I'm going to do it my way.
Well, he used to say you have to have that C word in you. And we'll call it mongrel, but he used to say you just have to have that mongrel in you. You have to have that winning mindset, that champion mindset. And he's been very open. In his documentary, he said, look, at times of my life when I was playing cricket, I did put cricket before my family, but it shows that's what it takes to be the best.
Well, I think you'll find that my children said to me, and they've all got their own children now, but they said to me, many years ago, Dad, you're the worst dad in the world. And I looked at him and said, but he said, you're the best granddad in the world. And that was the way it was. Yeah. We were away for a tour of Australia, was 5 months from home. And in the early days, they didn't like the wives and families coming. Yep. And if they did come, you had to pay your way for it. And by the time you've done that in a hotel room for those times, I was actually in debt from the tour, not making any money at all. And it was, but you're still out there. You want to win. Yeah. And nothing. There's in the Ashes, the greatest feeling is winning the Ashes. Now, if you do it at home, okay, great, celebrate. But when you do it in the opposition's backyard, which I was lucky enough to do on a number of occasions, that is when you really celebrate, because you've done it. You've crossed that bridge. Yeah. And because what the people forget is, you're not playing against 11. You're playing against 24.5 million Australians. And that's how it is. It's
a very good point you make as well. And back to the dad part, is one thing I've said as well in a few interviews is I wish Dad got to meet this version of me now. And one of the things is why, one of the reasons why is because I'd be a lot more understanding. And if I could say anything to Dad, I'd just say, I get it. And when asked, what do you mean about I get it? I would say, I'd understand why you travelled so much. I would understand why you worked so hard, because if you hadn't have made all those sacrifices and did all these things, not just for 5 years, but pretty much your entire life from when you turned 20, I would not be in the position I am now. Dad probably wouldn't have had the success and recognition he has, which means we probably wouldn't have the Shane Warne legacy. If we didn't have the Shane Warne legacy, we wouldn't have saved all of these lives. I probably wouldn't have this podcast and be able to hear and share stories about Dad. but it's because of all of the hard work he put in every single day for his entire career for Australia. That's why he has the legacy he has. But going back to your point, in the 90s when, yes, your family weren't allowed with the players, to tell people now, they'd be like, oh, but they're my family, but that's what it was.
Yeah, and they get flown out business class twice for a long tour. They don't do a long tour now.
Exactly, and it's...
So how do you play against an opposition when you haven't actually thought about being involved in that in some way? Whether the Australian, my father told me, he got out of Singapore, and when the Japanese came, and he said to me, just remember one thing. And he said this to me when I was probably about 25, and he said, if you're ever in trouble, he said, make sure you got an Aussie covering your back. And I said, what? He said, no. He said, you'll see what I mean as life goes on. And he was absolutely right.
Yeah.
There's a different mentality, and it's all very well, Jofra Archer having a go at Steve Smith, but everything's gone. It's gone. You've lost.
Yeah.
You've finished.
Yeah.
So, and also it would be helpful if you did that in the first test, or the second test,
not
but
when there's
when it's all over Red Rover.
Exactly. And you mentioned having an Australian behind your back. Was there times where you were going through stuff and Dad was just there to be like, Beefy, you've got this, mate. I can help you where I can, or here's some advice?
Well, we used to actually laugh it off. Because I would say what's a load of...
It won't matter in a few
years.
years.
Am I allowed to say bollocks? Yeah,
you
I
can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
The only word I probably haven't said here is the C word, but you can say the F-bomb. You can say whatever you want.
But no, I actually used to think that these guys think they go out there and we know what we're doing. There's only a handful of them that have ever played in Australia before.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. Light, pitches, and the audience.
Yeah.
And it's not just... When you get off the plane coming to Australia, first people you go to the customs. You go up to the customs, you get your bags, get the customs, and the bloke goes, open your cases. I said, okay, mate, yeah. Open them. Right, close them. Off you go. You won't be here that long anyway, mate. Off you go.
So it's already started.
Oh yeah, no,
it's already started.
So it starts.
Yeah.
Then you go to get your passport stamped.
Yeah.
No, mate. Is it a 2 month or a 1 month visa there? And then you get on the coach.
Yeah.
Driver goes, well, I got you guys for 10 days. Well, they think they have. I reckon they're probably no more than 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then you get to the hotel reception. You walk into the hotel. Oh, g'day, mate. Yeah, I got you in for 8 nights. You won't be needing all that, will you? And then you get up to the hotel room.
Yeah.
And then you turn the television on. And there was this 8-foot kangaroo eating 7 barrels out of Lenny the Lion. His crown was over here.
Yeah.
The poms are here, and this is what we're going to do with them. Words to that effect. But then, when we'd won the series, we're 3-0 after 3 tests, and one in Melbourne, the final one, to seal the victories.
Yeah.
You go up to your hotel room, and suddenly that advert's disappeared, and it's all about rugby league in 3 months' time. But that's how competitive. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I think some guys can't handle that.
Yeah, and it's probably in today's day and age, and we're probably a little bit softer, the players nowadays, because you're not growing up in an environment where you're told, oh, toughen up, or you've got to have thick skin. It's you get told something and it's almost, you don't have to even acknowledge it because the people, people are walking on eggshells a little bit more because they're very careful with what they say. But I think that's why your era, Dad's era, was so much more mentally tougher and so much more mentally strong because they were having to be open to adversity. Like you just described, the game didn't actually start when the first ball was bowled. It actually started when you got off the plane.
Yeah.
So it started weeks before you actually were even bowling the first game, and I guess it shows some players could handle it and some couldn't.
Yeah, look, I think people nowadays, they feel under pressure because we've got these phones with cameras and people are always putting it in your face. But I grew up or came up through the sort of 70s, 80s into the 90s, but the 70s and 80s was a tough time because there was a tabloid war in the UK. And so that's where that saying, don't let the truth ruin a good story, because as far as they were concerned, if they had the right story, it didn't matter if it's not true, but they'd sell more papers.
Yep, and it got to a point when it's probably where we are now, but I remember Dad telling me when I'd see an article, I'd say, I'd look at this, Dad, and you go, oh, I don't even need to have a look. Just what's the title? And I'd say the title and be like, oh, that'd be right. Because it got to a point where Dad would be like, well, they'll just believe the title. They actually won't read the content that's in it or make up their own thought. They'll be like, so now people are going to think I'm doing this or doing that. So that's where I sort of also got really thick-skinned, because I would see all these articles, but then I'd see Dad still be okay. And I'd also know who my dad is. And I'd see that these guys they're literally just lying. Right. Like, it's so untrue.
Yeah, but, as I say, that's the phase we went through, and it's a tall poppy syndrome. It's as simple as that. And again, that brings along with jealousy, which is a terrible thing, really, because most of us would give anything we can to help.
Yeah.
So where's the jealousy in that?
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. But anyway.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're talking about one of the greatest cricketers that ever played, and he used to empty bars. And some of the other players would fill the bars, because but he was box office. And to think, you always think box office is going to be a Dennis Lilly, a quick bowler, Jeff Thompson, that West Indian attack, Bob Willis, all these people. But he actually he did it the hard way.
Yeah,
and he developed his control. The ball of the century when Mike Gatting. Well, I don't know how he'd have played that anyway, because it was just freakish.
Yeah.
But he had great admiration from his teammates. He was very close to people like Andrew Simons. They were good buddies. Heels has always gone, and the keepers love him.
Yeah.
Providing they can read him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he can make them look stupid.
Yeah.
But they don't. And people like Ian Healy, and Adam Gilchrist. Terrific, and now you've got Alex Carey, who would have thrived on that. Keeping.
Well, two things on that. I know when I've spoken to Gilly and Heels, they've actually said some of the best days and moments of their life when they were just keeping to Dad, because you never knew what balls were going to come. So imagine being excited for every single ball, and then Dad's bowling 30 overs or 40 overs in a day for years. So you're constantly getting that excitement and joy and love for cricket through just wicket keeping to Dad. And the second thing is, do you think when you were watching Dad in his early 90s, you could have ever have thought he would have the career he had? Like, was there any early signs, like after the Gatting ball, that you thought he's going to take 300 wickets or 500 wickets, he's going to break records?
I think it takes probably, most pros would probably take them usually maybe a year to decide that a guy was going to be good enough.
Yeah.
I think the big thing for me was that after being caned by India in his first test, and Ravi Shastri in particular, knocked him all over. That could have finished a lot of players. But that's when I think that's when the mental strength comes through. And he always did things for a laugh. I mean, when he was at the academy, which was based in Adelaide, they went up to the Northern Territories to play in Darwin, and it was the academy, so the bit green behind the ears and everything with that. Yeah. Anyway, he got up there and he was getting some stick from a bloke round the pool. Yeah. So he went up to his room, dropped his cax and said, have a bit of that, mate. Yeah. And but unfortunately for him, the manager saw him doing it. And he said, Shane, I'll go have a chat with you. He said, mate, you can't do that, and we're going to send you back to Adelaide. And Warne said, all right, okay. And he gave him 2 bus tickets.
Wow. So go home.
Do you not know that?
No, I've heard similar stories, but it's all of these things in your earlier career when either you're told no or you're getting kicked out or you're not getting picked in the team that start to develop the resilience. And it all started for him. The first time was because his dream, as you know, was to play AFL. He loved St Kilda. He loved AFL.
First game of the season, on the 8th, March 8th. The Pies, my lot, against your lot.
Yeah, always. And that was his dream. And when he was just on a random day, he got a letter from somebody from St Kilda saying your services are no longer required. He didn't know what to do because that was his dream. He'd just been crushed. And that's actually when he went over to England and started playing cricket. Put on 25 kilos, came back. Nan and Pa didn't actually recognise him at the airport, but then started playing cricket. And then it was all these things in these first 10 or 15 test matches where he was getting smacked, getting told no. But then he had the support of AB and his teammates saying, no, we believe in you, Dad. You're going to do this. And it just shows that the more resilience you go through, it actually will have dividends in your career and your future. because it just develops such a strong mindset.
No, I agree with you entirely on that. And I think you have to feel the rough side of it to gain and become the smoother side.
Yeah.
And he was. I mean, I used to laugh at his stories when he was, and Heels has told me this, and always he would tell the batsman what he's going to bowl him.
Yeah.
Daryl Cunningham copped a fair bit of that.
Yeah.
But that just shows you. And if you're a batsman, that's putting more uncertainty in your mind. Is he double bluffing me?
Yeah.
Is it going to do this and do that?
Yeah.
So and he'd tell the umpire,
Yeah.
this one's going to be the wrong one. All right, okay.
Yeah,
But,
he was always playing chess where the other players were playing checkers.
Yeah.
And Andrew Strauss had a really good story on this when he used to face Dad. And he said, and I'm pretty sure it was about the Boxing Day test, but he said, when I was going out there to face Dad, there was times where I'd be like, okay, you know, Dad's coming on to bowl. He's just bowled this. But hang on. If that's what I'm thinking, I'm going to, you know, he's going to bowl maybe a wrong. And hang on. And all of a sudden he would panic. And you think, well, if I'm thinking 2-3 steps ahead, Dad's probably 10 steps ahead. But by the time Strauss has thought or maybe predicted what Dad's going to bowl, it's way too late. You can hit it through the air and you're out.
It wasn't a bad delivery for the 700th wicket,
No,
was it?
And it was probably the fastest I've ever seen him run. But there was a funny video of the 2021 Dunhill where he was running around the room going, "Come on, how's that?" Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Were you there for that moment? That was probably the 2 fastest times I've ever seen him run.
Yeah, he was a bit like me, adverse to running.
Yeah, yeah. He used to say he was very golf fit and cricket fit, but he just didn't like running.
No,
Didn't like running
most
at all.
sensible people don't.
Yeah,
In my book, you know, why do they invent an engine? Why do they invent a bike?
exactly. And golf buggies.
Yeah, they're good. And so long as you don't have a mate driving it and he actually tips it over and I'm underneath it, that's not a great experience, I can tell you.
Had that happened to you when Dad was driving before?
No, it wasn't. No. We, I think one of the funniest ones was when we played at Capitol.
Yep.
Just after it had opened, you know, many years ago. And we went out there and it absolutely, the Melbourne day, great sunny morning, and it absolutely poured in the afternoon. We got soaking wet.
Yeah.
And we went into the dressing room.
Classic Melbourne.
Yeah, dressing room there. And they had clothes for he and I to change into.
Yeah.
And they were the right shape, size, etc. And I said, how good's this? And Warne just smiled and said, it's Capitol.
It's Capitol. Yeah, and he loved his golf. Like, he absolutely loved his golf. And loved the Capitol, loved Cathedral. You've played heaps of Cathedral, haven't you?
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
But one thing I'm very fascinated, actually 2 things, with your cricketing career, Beefy. First one, what was it like playing without a helmet?
Well, it
never
occurred to me to have a helmet.
Yeah. Because that's just all you'd known. You'd never seen anybody wear them.
Well, and also I hated it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hated wearing it. So really claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll be honest with you, I think players nowadays pick up more injuries with helmets and chest guards and what have you because they take their eye off the ball and they sort of wait. Oh, here we go, impact.
Yeah.
I mean, sadly, Philip Hughes. I mean, that was a freakish accident.
Yeah.
But maybe, just maybe, if he didn't have the helmet on and he was watching rather than waiting. Yeah. I mean, it's such a blast. He was a good player. Yeah. He was a good player, and I got to know him. We had a bit of a run-in early on, but then sat down and cleared the air. And then, very sadly, a few weeks, months or so later, the tragedy happened. But I can understand why people, particularly schools, insist on kids having helmets. They're that unfortunate younger boy not far from here, and which it's quite freakish, those things. But to me, the only time I wore a helmet is after I'd broken the eggshell here under my eye, and it affected the optical nerve. And they said you can't play without the helmet, so I had to develop something. I mean, the ball could still have got through. Yeah. But I don't want all those lines. You wanted more
vision, and
But no, it was. I enjoyed it, and I got a couple of hits. But nothing serious.
Do you think we'll ever see anything like it again? Being able to play without a helmet, like if some league opened up somewhere around the world, they could say, and for this league, purely entertainment, you can't bowl it over a certain amount of speed, or don't wear a helmet. Something like that, or do you think there's just never?
No. I can't see that happening. I mean, there's enough cricket anyway going on at the moment. Not all of it enjoyable to the eye. But
Yeah.
no, look, I think it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I can think of a few players who didn't like wearing them.
Yeah.
Viv Richards was godfather to my son, and we shared a house for 10
Wow.
years and what have you. So,
Yeah.
and well, Warne enjoyed Viv as well as he got him in, didn't he? To the Melbourne Stars or wherever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon when people are making their teams and, they're picking what order Dad would go in, they always put him around that 8 or 9. But if you would ask Dad, I reckon he'd say, mate, put me up at maybe 5. You can even put me at 6 if you want, because he actually loved batting and he thought he was very good, which he was very good.
Yeah, but I'm number 6.
You're number 6. You can be 6.
Yeah.
And the second thing about your career, we were talking about Dad going through so much adversity and negativity early in his career, and that's what set him up with such a strong mindset. Did you go through anything very similar when you had just debuted for England and you're going through your early-ish career?
Not really. No, I was quite lucky because I got off to a bit of a flyer.
Yep.
So quite the opposite to what happened with Warne. And so I was on the crest of a wave then. So that was great. Injuries is a bugbear. But nowadays, your players, we have a hot spot. So we don't want you to bowl. What is a hot spot? I have no idea.
Yeah.
When they did the surgery on my spine, on the back, we have the big plate at the bottom, the base bone. And the surgeon said to me, I'll show you an x-ray we did, obviously, before we did the operation. He said, yeah. You see all these white lines? He said, it's like a map of Beirut. He said, they're all stress fractures. They've healed.
Wow.
And so I tend to think that we're overcautious now. I think bowlers need to, if you used to get to the ground, have a hot bath, and then the physio would come in, crack you, and then you go out and bowl.
Yeah.
And it's a bit uncomfortable the first few deliveries, but then bang, you got into it and you bowled.
And that was one thing Dad was and I'm sure he would have spoken to you about it a lot, but he was very vocal on there's just too much sports scientists now in sport.
Yeah,
because I know when Dad was playing, and it was probably the same with you, but there used to be the team of 11, and then I think there'd be around 4 or 5 coaching staff. So it'd be your coach, psychologist, doctor, and physio. I'm pretty sure it might have been around that or maybe a bit more. But then now, following the team, there'd have to be hundreds. There'd be hundreds.
When I started playing Test cricket, you had, on tour, you'd have a manager and a vice manager who was also the coach, Kenny Barrington.
Yep.
And he was fantastic with the boys. And then you'd have a physio and a scorer. That was it. Now, I did a picture of the Ashes when everyone was out there at the MCG. I think we had something like 46 people out there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the hell? And these guys that sit behind these computers and say, oh, you bowled 14 overs in that last game, you need to have a rest.
Yeah.
No, quite the contrary.
Yeah.
You need to play and keep playing
Yeah.
and keep that match fitness.
Yeah.
We're so pampered now. And I actually think, I honestly genuinely think that players, everyone's scared. I think physios are scared of being sued. Clubs are scared of being sued. Well, he shouldn't have been playing, and you'll get some doctor will say that.
Yeah.
I think, I agree with you. I think there's too many on board.
Yeah.
But I don't see that's going to change.
And I actually think that's why there is so many more injuries now, because there actually is too much sports science. And yes, it's science, but if I'm telling you I know my body and I know I'm fit enough to bowl an extra few overs or do some extra running, I'm going to do that. But if you're going to suggest me, no, please don't, because something might happen, you're sort of telling me, well, you know your body better than me. And that's why Dad always argued, well, hang on, I love smoking and it makes me be a lot less stressed. If I'm going to smoke and play, that's going to help me perform. If you're going to tell me not to smoke and you want to put me on a certain diet, and sure, I might actually be physically fitter, but my mental and my upstairs, I'm going to be a lot more stressed, I'm going to be a lot more uncomfortable, and I'm not going to be able to perform as well. And there's a good example with Tyson Fury. He's a lot bigger than everybody else and he's a lot more overweight, but he'll go down as probably one of the best boxers ever. And so I think that's where it's so hard to say, no, that's what you should be eating, this is how much you should be training, and then you match fit. I think each individual should be able to know what their limit is and know their body. And if they want to go for more advice, they will ask you.
Well, at the end of the day, You know what you can do, and I would be furious. Oh, look, you've done this, so we're going to rotate you. Rotate me? What do you mean rotate me? You're going to put me on a spit and turn it over or something? And this is nonsense. Imagine if someone had come up to me and said, oh, look, you bowled 35 overs, 40 overs in that innings, which you've done on many occasions, 30 overs plus, and it would say, can you imagine coming up to me and saying, I've just got 6 wickets for whatever, you're going to have a rest because you just bowled 30 overs in the day. Yeah. No, that makes me stronger.
Exactly. And you've got momentum and you've got the confidence. Exactly. And it's one thing with the AFL, you see so many times when an AFL player kicks a goal or is playing really well, they get rushed off straight away or they take him off. It's like, well, hang on, he's got the momentum and he's got the confidence. He's just kicked a good goal. Leave him on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
don't know.
And I haven't played AFL, so I'm probably just an uffie. But
well, you're going to be at the MCG for the opening game?
I will be. Will you be there?
Oh, of course.
Really? So you'll be. So how long are you still in Australia? Are you going to New Zealand?
Yeah, I go to New Zealand for 3 weeks with Kath, and we have a nice. I can go fishing, golfing, and just chill out because the rest of the time it's so chaotic. But New Zealand, I find, don't get me wrong, I enjoy Australia, but the great thing about New Zealand is nothing wants to kill you.
You don't have to be worried about snakes when you're playing golf and spiders,
sharks.
Yeah,
look, it's all going on at the moment.
Yep, and you had one accident, didn't you, with a crocodile, or when you were with Merv?
Yeah, very recently,
which we don't have to talk about if you don't want to. It can
no.
I'll,
it's a long story, but I'll abbreviate it. But no, we were out. He said it'd been for years. He'd been telling me, "Come on, Beefy, we've got to go up to the Northern Territory and catch barras." So I said, okay. He said, oh, about 30 years ago, I got this 94 centimetre. He said, they don't come very often.
Yeah.
So we get up there and we fish for 4.5 days, final afternoon, come back, go have a bit of lunch, go back out, fish. And with about probably half an hour, 45 minutes to go, wham, I got smashed by this barra. Jeez. And we got it in and Merv, it's 95 centimetres.
Oh, you got him.
He's not happy about that.
Yeah.
We get on the boat, and I tripped over, and I went flying over the back and smashed, did a rib at the bottom, one of the lower ribs, and then I blacked out. I don't know why, but I went under, and luckily, the chef, because the River Moyle has a 9-metre tide, so it's flowing all the time.
Wow.
And he just grabbed hold of my shirt, the back of me, and then the boys threw a rope and pulled me out. I think I was out quicker than I went in.
Wow.
But I'm still in the back of the boat.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't alone down there. There was a very big salty that had been floating around.
They'd been watching.
Yeah. Anyway, I get up there, and Merv comes out the galley, and he said, he's 2 beers. I thought, well, that's good of him. One for you, one for him. And he went, flick, glug, down the neck, glug, down the neck. I said, that's not very friendly, Merv.
Yeah.
He said, mate, I've just got you out. I said, well, you have. It's the first time in your career.
Yeah. Oh, what a good story.
Yeah.
Such a good story. But no, Beefy, mate, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thank you so much for being episode number 23.
My pleasure. Honour. It's an honour.
The honour is mine. Is there anything you'd love to end on or plug?
All I want to say is I think what you and the girls have achieved, and I know Helen helps a lot behind that, I think it's great, and I'm taking my hat off to you and keep it going. But it's an absolute pleasure to be over here with you guys. I'll try and catch up with Keith. I know circumstances won't make it easy at the moment, but please give him a hug for me. Yeah. And I know Bridget's not very well, but look, it's great, and the families have been mates for a long time. Liam goes back with Warne and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So, it's a pleasure, and thank you for having me.
No worries, Beefy. Welcome anytime, and you're a big part of our family as well. But thank you as well about mentioning the legacy. I know me, Brooke and Summer do a lot of the talking, but it is people like Helen and Neo that are doing a lot of the hard work, who are amazing. And I always give full credit to them because what they're doing is not easy and it's very difficult. So massive shout out and props to them. And yes, I'll make sure I give Pa a big hug next time I see him. But you're one of us, Beefy.
Thank you.
I'll hopefully see you at the St Kilda Collingwood game. So good luck.
Yeah, I'll I'll be like this cheering, and you'll be with a hanky over. Anyway,
No,
doesn't matter.
hopefully not. We've had a few in, so hopefully this will. Us St Kilda fans say it every year, but hopefully this is the first year that we're going up.
All right.
But thank you, Beefy.
We'll have a bottle of wine on it.